Hey students, we are heading on into our next section. We are on 2.6, which is dividing decimals. And I'm starting to try and put some funny things in here. And you can see this little comic that I have. It says, I ordered a 10-gallon hat, but they put the decimal in the wrong place. And the reason that's funny is when you put the decimal in the wrong place, it means something, it can change the value or change what you're talking about. And so this guy's 10-gallon hat is now like a tenth of a gallon hat. So that's why that's kind of funny. So anyway, let's move on and let's talk about some dividing decimals. All right, let's start off with your bell work for today. So let's try a couple of these. This says 3/5 divided by 9. So remember when we're talking about division, we have to use the keep it, change it, flip it. So we're going to keep the 3/5. Oh, that color's bad, huh? We're going to keep the 3/5. We're going to change this to multiply. And we're going to take what is this, which is 9 over 1, or 9, and flip it to 1 over 9. Now, the way that I look at this is, okay, I've done keep it, change it, flip it. Now, let's see if I can cross-simplify. Well, I'm looking at the 5 and the 1. They don't simplify because it's already done. But I can look at this 3 and this 9. They have a common factor, which is 3. So 3 and 9 simplify. So the 3 turns into a 1, and the 9 turns into a 3. Now I can just multiply. So I'm going to go 5 times 3 is 15. And I'm going to go 1 times 1 is 1. So my answer is 1/15. Hopefully you're catching on to that keep it, change it, flip it, and you're able to divide your fractions. So let's move on to number 2. Evaluate the expression. Whenever I see evaluate the expression, it means the same thing as solve it. So this one, we're going to be using order of operations. So I'm going to make a little list over here. PEMD, excuse me, AS. So parentheses, exponents, multiply, divide, add, and subtract. So do I have any parentheses? I do. So put a check mark. That's what I'm going to do first. And in that parentheses, I have add and multiply. Well, when you're looking inside the parentheses, you have to start over on the order of operations. So I'm not going to add first. I'm going to multiply because you always multiply and divide before you add and subtract. So this is where we're going to start. So 6 times 3 is 18. I still have the 2 plus 18, which is 20. So now I'm done with my parentheses. There are no exponents, so I'm going to check that off. Now, I got to bring everything else down. So, divided by 2 plus 13. Okay, so I can either divide or I can add first. Well, it tells me right here, if I look at my checklist, I'm going to multiply and divide before I add and subtract. So, we're going to start here. So, 20 divided by 2 is 10. That is gone. So I'm going to cross it off. Then we bring down the 13. So 10 plus 13, 23. There's my answer. Hopefully that makes sense to you. All right, so we're going to be multiplying decimals here. So I would like you to pause the video and try these problems and see if you get what I get. So pause right now. Okay, so for the first one, you should have got the answer 1 and 61/100ths. And for the second one, you should have got 15 and 12/100ths. So hopefully that's coming along for you. That was from yesterday's assignment, actually. So hopefully that you're finding that is not as difficult as it once was. Let's move on. Okay, so today we're taking on dividing decimals, and there isn't a whole lot of room here, but I want you to see the process here. I want you to see that I am taking And you know what? I'm going to do it right over here so I can have enough room to show you. So I am doing 1 and 716 thousandths. And I am dividing it by 52 hundredths. Now, this may look complex, but it really isn't. You only have to remember one thing. If you're moving this decimal right here, okay, I'm moving it 1, 2 places. So it doesn't matter how many decimal places you're moving it all the way to the right. So I'm going to take this decimal 1, 2 places. What I do to this guy, I do to this guy. So whatever happens to this decimal, I'm moving it to, I'm going to move it to here and then just bring it up. So I'm going to go get my red marker so you can see what I'm doing. And I'm going to go 1, 2, because I moved this guy 1, 2. And then I'm going to just bring it straight up right here. Now I'm going to rewrite this problem. And I'm just going to rewrite it as 52. And then 1716 with the decimal right here. And now I'm just going to divide like I always have. You know how you, when you were in 5th grade, you divided? This is the same thing. So you now are taking 52 and dividing it into, well, it doesn't go into 1, so you put a 0. It doesn't go into 17, so you put a 0. But it does go into 171, and we're going to see how many times. So I'm going to estimate about 3. Well, let's try 4 times. Uh-oh. I get 208. So it can't go that many times. So let's go back to 3. So 52 times 3 is 156. So it goes 3 times. So I'm going to put the 3 there. 156, subtract, I have to borrow, that's 5, that's 1, bring down my 6. Oh, well, look at that. It goes 3 times again. Well, that helped me out. So when I get to that last digit right there, I'm done. So my answer is 3 3/10. So not really difficult. You're supposed to write this down right here. I just wanted to have enough room to do it, so make sure that you have that written down right there. And that's what it's talking about over here. So I guess I can do this to make it fit for you. So that's where it should be, okay? And you can see right here that these steps are just going through the same process, just showing you how to do, just telling you the steps to do this. So let's erase my stuff. And let's try another one of these. Let's try this guy right here. And I'm going to actually try and get it on the paper this time. So I am taking 6 and 643 thousandths and dividing it by 7 and 3/10. All right. So again, I'm going to move the decimal 1 place here. So I'm going to move it 1 place here, move it up into my answer. I like to rewrite it because sometimes it gets sloppy with moving things. So I'm just going to go 73 and then go 6643. And the decimal is right here. So I'm going to put it right up in my answer. And now I have to divide. Well, 73 does not go into 6. 73 does not go into 66, but it does go into 664. Well, this is where everybody has a hard time with dividing without using a calculator. You just have to bite the bullet and go, okay, well, I'm going to estimate. And it helps if you know your multiplication tables here. If I was to pretend that that was 70, well, how many times would 70 go into 664? Well, if that was 6 times 70, it would be 420. 7 times 7 is 49, so not close. How about 9? What's 7 times 9? 63. Well, let's see if that works. 27. 7 times 9 is 63, 64, 65. It must go 9 times because it's real close. So there, and then we go 657. We subtract, we get 7. We bring down our 3. It goes once. So my answer is 91 hundredths. All right, On this next one, I want to see if you can do it on your own. I'm going to do the problem, but I want you to hit pause and try it yourself. When you get done with the problem, hit play again and see if you got the right answer. Okay, so did you get 7 3/10? That is the correct answer. Okay, let's see what's below this. All right, so it's just talking more about us doing that same thing. It's just step 1 and step 2. So place the decimal point in the quotient, divide, multiply, subtract, bring down, and repeat. So those are your steps for dividing. All right, so let's move on to the practice. Okay, so here we are. It looks like we're practicing the same thing. I'm not going to do every problem on the practice, but I'm going to do a couple of them to help you out. So again, we have to move the decimal over one place here. So one place here, bring it up into the answer. I like to rewrite the problem because it gives me a nice clean space to do my answer. So I'm going to go 31 and then 1736, and I move the decimal in between the 3 and the 6. Okay, 31 goes into, well, third, I'm going to guess 6 times. So that's 6, and that's, ooh, that didn't work. So it didn't go 6 times. Let's try 5 times. That's going to be 155. That looks about right. So we'll go 5, 155. We're going to subtract, have to borrow. That's 8, 1, 8, and 6. So let's do 31 times 6, and that is going to be 186. So it goes 6 times. So there we go. We've got our 5 6/10 for our first answer. So you can kind of see the steps that I go through to solve this problem. I'll do a couple more of these. Let's do number 5 because it doesn't have a decimal there, but does that change anything? Not really. 6 goes into 46. Well, 6 times 8 is 48, so I know it has to go 7 times. So 7, that's 42. We subtract, we get a 4, we get an 8. 6 goes into 48, 8 times. Now, what about this decimal? Well, we didn't have to do any of the moving over here, so we just bring it straight up. 7 8/10. Pretty self-explanatory. Well, look at number 7 or 6. What if they're written that way? How do I say that? It's 9 24/100. So 9 24/100 divided by, so which one? See, a lot of students, even in 6th grade, even in 7th grade, even adults sometimes struggle with this. They don't know which one is being divided and which one is doing the dividing. Well, if you read the problem, 9 24/100 divided by, so this first number is always the one that goes underneath. It's being divided by 15 4/10. So again, go through our process, moving once here, bring it up into your answer, rewrite the problem. 154 goes into 924, and my decimal is going to go right there. Now, let's solve it. Well, how many times does 154 go into 924? Well, I'm just going to guess 8. Let's see what I get. 32, 43, 1. Oh, that's way too much, isn't it? So let's try 5 times. Sometimes it's trial and error, but you just have to keep trying until you get something that's close. So 25, 26, 27, that's 770. Okay, that looks a little bit too small. So let's do 154 and 7. 28, 35, 36, 37, 37. That's 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay, so I can't go that. My goodness, look how many times I have to do this. It's okay. It's not a big deal. Just keep plugging along until you get it. That's 32. That's 9. Oh my gosh, I found it. It's 6 times. So that's a 0 and a 0 because it doesn't go into 9. It doesn't go into 92, but it does go into 6. It goes 6 times. You get 924. And that right there is the answer. Okay, guys, if you need more practice at this, there's a few more on here to try if you would like to get more practice. Let's move on to the assignment. Okay, here is your assignment. It's just that same algorithm, that same process that we're moving the decimal, rewriting it, solving it like a regular division problem. So give this a shot. See what you get when you do these problems, and good luck.